Hi, Connie.
Hi, Suzanne.
Well, it's time again. Welcome, everyone, to All Things Hallmark. I'm Suzanne Eaglin. That's Connie Bivens. And we just want to talk about last Saturday's wonderful movie, which was Just Add Romance. Very, very good movie. But before we get into that, let's do some girl chat. My birthday weekend, it's my birthday month. I'm celebrating, I'm excited. It's just I'm really thankful to God to be alive, knowing like last year, as I had mentioned to you, last year I almost died. My appendix ruptured, they couldn't find it for 7 days, and then I had life-saving surgery on my actual birthday, so that made me just want to celebrate even the more. Went to the doctor, they gave me injection for pain, and I danced a little bit. I really danced like I had no pain. But let me make you giggle about this. How about yesterday, on the other hand? I was in so much pain. My blood pressure was over 157, over 74. It's rough having injuries, but I am still thankful and living my life and enjoying it no matter what's coming against me. I just want to say that even through the pain, you got to just press ahead, work towards it. And that's what I plan on doing. Nothing's going to stop me from living a happy life. I'm very thankful, and I'm going to have thankfulness all over me all year long. I hope I'm contagious, that somebody else feels the love and the happiness that I have. So that's what's been going on with me. What's been going on with you?
So, first of all, happy birthday again. And I'm
Thank you.
definitely excited about the fact that even though you hadn't been feeling well, how you look absolutely beautiful. And so, just definitely excited about that. So, Suzanne, I wish I could say that I had like this great weekend or whatever. But I tell you, I dealt with some challenges in life, some people challenges, they say if you can ever get delivered from people, that's going to be the best deliverance you ever get. But so yeah, I had some challenges, but the Lord always shows up, and so uh, chose to walk in forgiveness, and yeah, that's kind of how my weekend went. But let me just tell you, the Lord has such a sense of humor. So I've gotten to the point, again, I've been dealing with people in my line of work for a long time. So I know, as my mama used to say, it take all kinds of folks to make the world go round.
That's true. That's a
And
true
so,
statement.
yeah. And so um, last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend prior, I think I went to a team building thing. For my weekends are running together all of a sudden. I don't know. It might have was this weekend. I don't know. But anyway, I went to this leadership team building thing, and the minister that was there, he gave us a little baggie, nothing fancy, little baggie with a bunch of little strips of paper in them. And on the front of the bag it said faith. And so, as I relate to, like I said, I had some people challenges this weekend. He said he had admonished us that whenever we were feeling some kind of way or whatever, to dig into the bag and pull a strip out. So I just want to let you all see how funny the Lord is. So this is the one I pulled out this morning, and it's Ecclesiastes 3:1. There's a time for everything and a reason for every activity under the heavens. So that told me that there's a time, girl, for you to go through and have to deal with the people.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
So,
Because even in that, it talks about there's a time for sickness. And unfortunately, I'm dealing with some body stuff, but I'm going to press on. As a matter of fact, let me show you about this hat.
okay.
So I'm blessed to have a wonderful biological father, and then I'm blessed to have a father that came through marriage that I just absolutely adore. And he served, and this was his ship. He served in the military. He is one of our veterans. God bless all of our United States veterans. I know your families are veterans, so you just really want to. I'm just really excited. Just want to let my dad know I'm thinking about him and all of the other military people. It has been a week for sure.
Yeah. And when you know that there's going to be a time and season for all that, you get to do kind of like you did, and that's choose life, choose joy, choose to enjoy. You could let it destroy your weekend and say, oh, I had a bad weekend. As you saw, I didn't say I had a bad weekend, I just had a different weekend. And so um,
Exactly.
but the best thing about it, as my little sister would say, it's never failure unless you didn't learn something from it. And I actually learned something from it, about people and about myself. And, you know, I'm happy to have gone through the experience to be a better me. And that's one of the reasons, Suzanne, I love Hallmark, because, you know, Hallmark is just so real when it comes to the things that we experience in life. And even in this particular movie, Just Add Romance, you know, it made me think of, now I don't really watch all the cooking shows on television, but I've seen something like Top Chef or something. I've seen a little bit of it. And so when I was watching Hallmark the other night, I came by and I was like, who turned my channel? You know? Because again, it looks so much like the show that I had viewed at one time. And so yeah, that's one of the reasons I love Hallmark, is because it's not reality in the sense that it's got all that drama and stuff going with it, but there is a little drama sometimes and things that go on with it. But so I like the realness of it, if I can say that. You know, the story is not so outlandish. You know, even though people fall in love quite a bit, but the stories are not so outlandish that you're just like, oh my God, what's going on?
Well, I mean, for me, at the end of the weekend, that was something that I was like, at least I have, you know, well, I had a great weekend, but I was able to look forward, even with my quiet time. After I spent quiet time and meditating, I was able to say, now it's time for Hallmark. So let's get into it. So Just Add Romance, like you mentioned, was two chefs that were entering a contest, which was a reality show. So they were filming it, and the prize was the winner was going to take all. They were going to get their own restaurant. Now, the good thing about these, the couple that we're looking at this week is Jason and Carly, and they went to culinary school together. They had already knew each other, and I think they might have possibly liked each other, but it didn't get explored. And then one day, Jason just didn't show up to class with no understanding, and Carly didn't understand why he would leave out. And then now we pick up. So they've entered this contest, and here they are together again.
Yeah, you know, it's that first part of, why did he leave? He didn't say goodbye. And, you know, again, sometimes we in our natural lives can get caught up in our feelings because somebody came in the room and they didn't speak, or somebody left without saying anything. And so yeah, they had this kind of different acquaintance, because he wasn't even in class long enough for them to really start anything there, but there was an attraction already, because later in the movie they talk about that. But, you know, so he goes off to do, and again, we don't want to give the juicy parts of the story away, but he goes off to do what he needed to do. And so with really not much thought, they just went on and lived their lives. There's no indication that they really necessarily even thought about each other. But then this contest comes up, and one of the first things that I noticed, even with the contest coming up, Suzanne, is neither one of them stepped out on their own to register for the contest. If you remember, her girlfriend, her best friend, told her she needed to do it, and the woman that young lady that he worked with, told him he needed to do it. So really, neither one of them just stepped out there on their own. But, you know, and it didn't take a lot of pushing or anything. They mentioned it to him, and it was like, maybe I'll think about it, you know. So that's to say, sometimes as friends, don't get discouraged if we don't just jump up and do exactly what you asked us to do right then and there. That doesn't mean we're not thinking about it and may not actually end up doing it. It just means we're taking a moment. So
it's actually a great lesson. That is a great life lesson. Be a little patient with your friends.
Absolutely.
Be a little patient with your friends.
So did you like that red dress? That red dress she wore to dinner that night?
Very pretty, yes. And it was so cute how the other person was like, oh, you guys are going to dinner? Oh, can I join too? And she was like, of course, knowing all along she wanted it to be.
Girl, you ain't coming. Oh, my good dress. So yeah, you know, even in the with the other characters, because as you know, there's more than one chef. There's more than the two of them. There's 5 of them, I think, altogether when they started. I liked, Suzanne, how each time it was almost like Hallmark took a moment to do a life lesson. You know, when this person got voted off, it wasn't a matter of they were just gone and we didn't see them anymore. Either Carly or Jason had an opportunity to go speak into their lives and to just encourage them. And so I thought that was really cool. And just how, you remember that one scene when the gentleman with the accent, I can't remember his name, but how he, you know, he kind of acted like he didn't like Jason, and furthermore, didn't care for the fact that they were trying to have a romance or whatever the case was. And, you know, he said at another time we could have been friends. Jason said, we already friends.
That's right. We're already friends. Yeah. So my lesson from that particular area was you can be in competition with people, because in life, sometimes at your jobs, you know, it's you and your friend going up for the same position. It doesn't mean it has to be cutthroat. Doesn't mean it has to be ugly. Even though if you live, you know, for say in America, sometimes when we're dealing with politics, the two sides become very ugly. It doesn't have to be ugly. Just because we disagree or just because we're going for the same position doesn't mean that we have to be nasty and hateful towards one another. We're still, I think the lesson was you can still be loving, you can still be kind, and you can still be supportive. You have choices, people. And so you can always choose to be good and have a kind heart no matter what the situation and the circumstance is. That was the lesson that I learned in that. And I really thought that was really, really cool how they did take that moment to reaffirm and to, you know, make someone's opportunity, that exchange, that connection, to put value on that exchange and that connection with another human being.
Absolutely. You know, I've actually experienced that when I lived in Okinawa, Japan. I happened to be at a church service. I had gone up for a position, and I was in a church service, and I hadn't heard anything back from the position. And I'm sitting in a pew, and there's a lady that I don't even think I knew her at the time, but she was sitting behind me. And maybe I did know her. I'm not positive if we had met prior to that or not. But it was so funny because I heard her talking about having received the phone call and having gotten offered the position that I had applied for, you know. And at that moment, I had a choice, either if we were already friends to continue being friends, and if we weren't friends to just kind of snob her off and be done, you know. So, and I'm so grateful that I chose to be friends, because she and I, it turned out after that, we spent many years on Okinawa as the best of friends, and even when we came back to the States. But so in the movie, another life lesson and another thing that I took note of is that every single contestant in the food contest was trying to please someone else.
That's true.
You know, Carly and Jason both, you know, had their dads on their mind. The gentleman with the accent that I cannot remember. Mm-hmm. It was his son. The blonde-haired young lady, you know, it was, you know, about her family. It's about a family thing. And so, and I don't remember exactly. Now, the lady with the short black hair, she was a little special. You know, she seemed, you know, every group has one, the negative Nelly. Every group has one. And so it seemed like of all the people in the group, she was the one that kind of, you know, was feeling some kind of way. And it was very apparent by the way that she even carried herself. Because you remember at one point she went in to tell. She didn't think, you know, that it was going to be fair, that the judges could be fair judging when these two are obviously in a romance together. Now, I don't blame her in the fact that, in my mind, I said to myself, as long as one of them win, they both win. That's what I had already started thinking that, you know. But to go in there and basically say, I don't feel like the judges. And what are you saying about the judges? You know, when you say something like that. And so sometimes the stuff that comes out of our mouths, it tells on you, and it says something to what you think about the other people or the other person. And so she was kind of that person. But early on, I thought, you know, if they get together and one of them wins, then technically they could still both win. And so it was great. Of course, we're not going to tell our listening audience who won and who didn't.
Who won, right.
But
I would say,
I tell you, there was some good food being cooked, even some macaroni and cheese.
I will say that the dark hair lady, I don't remember her name either, there was a good lesson about that. And it goes back to the choices. For her, she had one thing on her mind. She was like single focus, win at all costs.
All
She
costs.
represented the competitive person who would probably, try to take you down. And that's, I think, what she was ultimately trying to do when she went to talk to the judges, to
Yeah.
bring this negative light to this other couple, or to these two individuals. But listen, my life lesson for that was worry about yourself.
See,
Focus on
okay.
you. Focus on what you have going on, because don't be concerned about, your neighbors next to you. Are you doing your best to, in that case, was she doing her best to cook? So that was a life lesson. I don't have time to worry about what other people are doing. I only have time at this moment to focus on me so that I can be the best that I can be. I don't have to tear somebody else down, and I got enough of my own worries that I don't have to be in somebody else's business.
Business, So yeah, and remember, she was the one that started the little rumor mill too.
Yes.
Remember, same person. I'm just like, come on now. But again, you guys, everybody has one in their group. That doesn't mean
Right.
you don't like them. That doesn't even mean that you don't let them stay in the group. Just know who you're dealing with. And so, definitely enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed all the different types of food they were cooking. I enjoyed the fact that each one of them, again, came for their own reason, came from different backgrounds. And, it was funny when they were fixing one of the meals that seemed to be a more upscale type meal. I was a little concerned about Jason because, Jason come from the little cafe, he wasn't out of the five-star restaurant like some of them were, the gentleman from overseas. And even Carly came from a known cooking industry and stuff. And Jason, his folks just owned the diner. But when I tell you that boy held his own, he held his own. And so definitely when you step out there, just hold your own and remember. Oh, and the other thing, Suzanne, how each one of them, kind of outside the little lady with the dark hair, but how each one of them didn't mind encouraging one another. Like, what are you going to cook? What are you going to cook?
Right.
Hey, here's a little bit of this, or hey, you might want to add a little bit of this. They were actually challenging one another to move past the limitations that they'd set on themselves. And so that's
life lesson.
Yeah, another life lesson. Don't just settle for the box. Move outside that box and give it your all. And oh, Suzanne, how about when the gentleman was complaining about the oven not being set right? Now, the same oven that everybody else is using, he's mad because he feels like his dish isn't coming out right because of the oven. I thought to myself, there we go, because you always got one of those in the group too. That's not a responsibility.
It's right. Because, and the lesson with that is, I'm not able to be successful because of my circumstances. I'm not able to be successful because of my sickness, my disease, my this, my that. And there are valid reasons, and they are things that happen. It's called life. And you have to be able to move through it.
Yeah.
But even while you're going through that process, you should still strive for success and just own it. Just be 100% and own it. Sometimes when I'm in pain, I can't do certain things. I can't. But I own my limitations, and I don't need to blame it on anything else. I don't have to blame it on this, these different circumstances. You got to own it sometimes.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's not necessarily, unless you choose not to do it, that you don't have to not do it. You just have to do it differently. I can't do it.
Right.
I was just at the Snickers Marathon race. Woo woo! Shout out to the Kingdom Striders. And some of those folks couldn't run the marathon. They came across there with bicycles, using limbs that the other ones weren't able to use. So some people were using their arms and some people were using their legs. But guess what? They all crossed the same finish line. And
exactly.
So you don't get to do it in the same manner that you're accustomed to. But, and it reminds me of a formula. I've shared this with you before, Suzanne. A formula that Jack Canfield uses. And he says, event plus response equals outcome. You have no control over the event. He had no control over the oven, you know, but his response to what was going on with the oven is what would change his outcome. And so I just want to share that. To me, that's a powerful formula. I use it in my life coaching business. Event plus response equals outcome. You can't change the event, but if you would be bold enough, courageous enough to change your response, humble enough even to change your response, you'll get a different outcome. And that's one of the things, I believe it or not, I feel like this particular movie kind of reiterated in my mind. It stirred it up in my mind. It reminded me of that.
Because it had so many good, powerful lessons. So they're back. They're in this competitive thing. The name of the movie again is Just App Romance. And at some point, they thought towards the end of the competition that they might need to be separate. They might need to be more competitive. And Jason comes in and he lets her know, you know what? I don't want to lose you. Losing you would be worse than losing the contest. And so they had decided, you know what? We are into each other and we won't tear each other apart. We're going to build each other up. I like the fact that they consulted with one another about what dish they was going to make. And it looked like there was some confusion, but they were mature enough and invested enough in one another to clear up the misunderstanding. Another life lesson. Yeah. Sometimes in relationships, son and daughter, mother and son, husband and wife, whatever the case is, sometimes don't just see it and think someone's trying to take advantage of you, right. But be willing to go and have a conversation. Hey, what's going on here? Clear this up for me. So I appreciate it. Another life lesson. And I love the fact that he was able to clearly let her know, I'm into you. I'm into you more than this contest. What we're building, I see it going someplace. So whenever you're looking at a spouse, you want that message to be a clear message to you that validates that you're in the relationship that is, healthy. So keep that in mind to all those people who are looking at spouses or looking to be in a long-term relationship. So I definitely enjoyed this movie and I got so much out of it. And it ended such a beautiful ending. So you definitely want to take your time and go look at this movie.
I do want to say this, that even while they were acknowledging the fact that they were into each other, as you put it, both of them also wanted to win this contest. So there was no secret about that either, and so definitely a good movie with a lot of life lessons. And the thing that I liked about what you just said is have the conversation, even if they, because y'all know they will have you fighting and fussing and all kinds of stuff. And I will tell you this, even though we're not going to tell you the final piece of the movie, I will tell you this. No one just simply quit and threw in the towel. No one did that. Everybody had a made up mind that they were going to give their best. All of the contestants had their mindset that they were going to put forth their best effort because they wanted to open that, to own that restaurant. And so I will tell you that. I'm not going to tell you anything else other than that, but I will tell you that everyone stayed in the contest and they took it all the way to the end. And so if you really want to know about this particular movie, Just Add Romance, you definitely want to go out to Hallmark before they stop playing it, because it was an awesome movie. And it wasn't one of those, at the very beginning, you're on your seat like this trying to get into the movie, but it definitely was a movie that kept your interest, that you want to see again, and that you definitely want to stay to the end. Don't y'all get up and go get that popcorn right in the middle, because you're going to miss it.
So yeah, it was a good movie. We encourage you to watch the movie. And when you do, you've heard some of the lessons that we got, but if you got any lessons out of it, please come back and make a comment about different lessons that you got. Let's continue to have this open conversation about the lessons that we're getting from these good Hallmark movies. So what we want you to do right now is like, share, and subscribe. Let's all say it. Like, share, and subscribe. Please go out, tell your friends about it. You can put it on your cell phone and send it off to somebody else. You can even put it on your social media, because it's about getting some life lessons and enjoying an entertaining movie. So All Things Hallmark. I'm signing off. I'm Suzanne Eaglin. This is my girl,
Connie Bivens. And definitely want you all to go out, come out and visit us. Suzanne, just really quick before you go, they always hear us talking about life lessons, and this is not something we started talking about yesterday. So definitely tell them about how you can help them if they're saying, those girls really be talking about some stuff. I want to take it a little further. Where can they contact you?
www.livingvictoriouslyafter.com. As a matter of fact, I'm currently about to start a webinar starting March 11th. It'll be 2 different webinar classes, Living Victoriously After Grief. So if you've been dealing with anything, a death of a loved one, your career ending, you're dealing with physical health, amputation, cancer, whatever it is, I believe that this class will absolutely help you be able to put your life back to your new normal and make the best of it. And then the other class that I'll be teaching is entertaining wasting time. That's a class on procrastination. Okay. We got to figure out, why do we spend so much time delaying? And a lot of us can look back and say, you know what, I lost a lot of things because I didn't make the deadline. So let's go in together and figure out, what do I need to do to correct that behavior? Because it's a mindset. So get into it. So again, that's www.livingvictoriouslyafterdivorce. And my name is on Facebook and Instagram. It's Suzanne Eaglin, just the way it's spelled here in the comments section. So hashtag livingvictoriouslyafter.com. Okay, go ahead and tell me, because I see in the background we got empowering, equipping, educating, and encouraging women to pursue their dreams and visions. Great poster. Tell me.
It's funny that you say that. So for those of you that know, Suzanne and I are friends. And so she was telling me, girl, your background is always just plain. And so I ran to get a poster today. I said, you know what? I'm not letting her get me again. And so really, I just kind of grabbed this poster, but it does happen to speak to the ministry that I'm involved in and what I do just all my life. My life has been made up of helping people. If it wasn't for the fact that it was Suzanne's tag, Living Victoriously After, that's technically what I do. Absolutely. And so, I'm a certified John Maxwell life coach, author, and speaker. And I'm just excited about what I'm doing. And if you want more information about just doing it, because Suzanne just talked about procrastination, can I tell you, almost every person that signs up for any of my classes or anything like that, and we talk about the things, Suzanne, that's the largest barrier that they face. Most of them say procrastination. So you guys definitely want to go out there to www.livingvictoriouslyafter and sign up for this webinar. It's not expensive. She's got an introductory price out there. Don't you procrastinate and miss it. I'm just saying. And definitely you can contact me at www.activateyourlife.info and also by email at coach@activateyourlife.info. All right, so that's what we do. We do all things Hallmark. And Hallmark, can I just say, they give us a lot of material to work with.
They do. All right. Well, we'll see you next week when we watch our next movie. Thank you so much for letting us come into your homes today, and we appreciate you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.